Emily was 34, a high school English teacher, and the kind of woman people described as strong, without ever asking how tired she was of being strong. 5 years earlier, her marriage had ended in silence rather than shouting. No cheating scandal, no dramatic courtroom battle, just two people who slowly stopped seeing each other. The divorce left her with a small apartment, a broken sense of trust, and a promise she made to herself late one night on the kitchen floor. I will never let myself believe in happily ever after again. Across town, in a modest house with creaky wooden steps, Daniel Brooks was tying his tie for the third time, loosening it again then sighing. He was 37, a civil engineer, and a single father to an 11-year-old boy named Noah. Daniel had lost his wife to illness 7 years ago, and grief had reshaped his life in ways he never expected. He learned how to pack lunches, braid messy hair before school picture day, and smile through pain so his son wouldn't feel alone. Daniel wasn't sure he believed in happily ever after either. For him, happiness had become something practical. Quiet dinners, paid bills, making sure Noah felt safe. Love, the deep romantic kind, felt like a beautiful story meant for someone else. Emily and Daniel first met on a rainy Thursday afternoon at the local library. Emily was there for a book club meeting she didn't really want to attend, but forced herself to go to anyway because her therapist once said, "You can't heal in isolation." Daniel was there because Noah needed help with a school project about bridges, and Daniel thought the library would be quieter than home. They reached for the same book. There was an awkward pause, followed by an apology from both of them at the same time. Emily laughed first, a soft, surprised laugh that even startled her. Daniel smiled, the kind of smile that hadn't reached his eyes in a long time, until that moment. They talked for 5 minutes. Then 10. About books, about work, about how rain always made small towns feel smaller and cozier at the same time. When Noah ran up to Daniel, backpack swinging, Emily knelt down to say hello like it was the most natural thing in the world. That night, Emily drove home thinking about a man she barely knew and wondering why her chest felt lighter. Daniel made dinner while Noah talked nonstop about Miss Emily from the library. And for the first time in years, Daniel caught himself imagining a future that included someone new. But life doesn't hand out happiness without testing it first. Their relationship grew slowly, carefully. Like something fragile they were both afraid to break. Coffee turned into dinners. Dinners turned into long walks. Emily learned about Daniel's late wife, not with jealousy, but with respect. Daniel learned about Emily's divorce and the nights she blamed herself for loving someone who couldn't love her back. The biggest challenge wasn't time or distance. It was fear. Emily struggled with the idea of loving a child who wasn't hers by birth. She adored Noah, but late at night, doubts crept in. What if I fail him? What if I leave like everyone else? Daniel, on the other hand, worried about letting someone into Noah's life again. He had promised himself he would never put his son through loss twice. The breaking point came one winter evening. Daniel canceled dinner plans at the last minute, because Noah was sick. Emily understood, but something in her snapped. Old wounds reopened. She heard echoes of her past, of being second place, of not being chosen. When Daniel finally called back, Emily's voice was calm but distant. She told him she needed space. Not because she didn't care, but because she cared too much. Weeks passed. Snow melted into rain. Rain turned into early spring sunshine. Emily buried herself in work. Daniel focused on Noah. Both told themselves they were doing the right thing, even as something essential felt missing. Then one afternoon, Emily found a handwritten note slipped under her classroom door. It was from Noah. He wrote about a bridge project. About how bridges connect two sides that can't reach each other alone. And at the bottom, in uneven handwriting, he wrote, "I think you and my dad are like a bridge. Please don't disappear." Emily sat at her desk long after the final bell rang, tears falling silently onto the paper. That night, she went to Daniel's house. There was no dramatic speech, no perfect words, just honesty. Emily admitted her fears. Daniel admitted his. They talked about the past without letting it define the future. And for the first time, they made a choice, not to be fearless, but to be brave together. If you're still watching this story, take a moment right now to like the video and subscribe. Stories like this only reach the people who